Welcome to. Hold on. Oh boy. Welcome to Yakima. Oh boy. Hold on. Welcome to Yakima Southwest Rotary. All right, I have Corday for. No wait, Ryan Beckett for invocation.
We good? Can you hear me? As long as you can hear me, then I'm sure the Lord can too. Please bow your heads with me for just a moment. God in heaven, we are so grateful for this beautiful day, this beautiful sunshine covering this wonderful valley that we get to live in. It brings that excitement for the promise of springtime and the renewal and the opportunities that we have coming for us in this year. It makes us excited thinking just about the different ways we can impact this community, this valley, the ways we can reach, the ways we can do good in this community. We pray that you would inspire this club and renew us in that fashion. Thank you, Lord, for this food, for this opportunity to gather as Rotarians and friends. And we pray all of this in your name. Amen. Our Father, excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Corday, you want to come over here and you'll speak into the mic. That way the people online, if they watch this, can hear you.
Raul Castillo.
You have a guest.
Yeah, I got my daughter here.
Thank you.
Welcome, daughter.
And Riley Wilkinson. Outstanding.
All right, that is Aaliyah and Shane. Welcome you both. Any other guests that didn't get on the list? I want to apologize for Ryan. Some people gather in the bar before they come over here, and Ryan pre-funked before coming over today. So, all right, now we got some club announcements. Member anniversaries. So we got, and we'll just clap for everybody at the end. We've kind of been going through these, but there's new people here. So Jean DeLuca with 7 years, Lynn Harlington with 8 years, Tony Klein with 28 years, Tom Sparling 12 years, Mark Hummel 1 year, Jason Kildall back for 1 year, Aaron Masters 2 years, Stephanie Kinney 6 years here, 18 years in total with Rotary. And Steve Altick, 5 years. How about a round of applause for those folks? Birthdays. Joe celebrated a birthday on the 2nd. Tony Klein on the 5th. I think I saw Tony here. Raul Castillo on the 8th. And then Teresa Rich was on the 13th. So happy birthday to those folks. For those that weren't here last week, or if you didn't realize, we also video these. These have been streaming live, but you can go back to the same link and watch last week's video. Emily Jameson came. We did a little update on what's going on with her. It just so happened, I don't know if it was really coincidence or not, but her raffle ticket was pulled. And then, as coincidence would have it, she also accidentally, wouldn't you know it, pulled the Queen of Hearts. So she won a 900-plus pot last week. For our guests, a few weeks back, her house caught fire, total loss. So we've just been kind of giving back where we can and helping Emily out. The women's build is coming up on March 6th through the 11th. You'll see these on our bulletin. You can use the QR code to get registered. I believe it's $25 and you get a shirt. Has anybody signed up for this yet? So hopefully we can get some people signed up. And other clubs are promoting this as well. So there will be other women Rotarians on this build, hopefully on the 6th through the 11th. Our auction's coming up. This is in the bulletin. I'm not going to... hopefully we'll have official tickets out with full registrations in the next... Hopefully by the 28th. This could slide about another week out, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. But hopefully in the next week or two, we'll be live with registrations. So... What's that? Oh, on your tables, you're going to see, as part of your obligation, if you're not doing a dessert dash, is a live auction or a silent auction worth $50 or more. What we're going to do is have you fill these out with the person that does the donated item, and then you can give it to me. We can connect it with Nicole Britt. Nicole will scan it in and email it back to the person. So we've got requesting their contact information on here, so we can get that. We'll send it back to them. Any questions? Okay. Just an update from the club. Last week, we got a kind of a final update on our Entebbe medical equipment purchase. It was a grant that we gave $6,000 to, but through all the international foundations and districts, amounted to almost $87,000 in medical equipment. So that just went through. That was a 4-year process. So that was kind of exciting to see. We approved $2,000 for shelter boxes for the earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. And then we funded $1,500. We've approved $1,500 as the board for meals for Camp Hope and Rod's House. And the Community Service Committee is going to be putting together an agenda and calendar dates on when that's going to happen and what's that look like. Also, the community service is meeting directly after this meeting, just as a reminder, if you're on community service. If you're not on community service and you want to be, stick around and you can kind of see what's going on and be involved with kind of what's up ahead. We have a new membership approved by the board. Emily Haverlow, probably didn't say that right. Elia Castillo, Raul's dad. And then Jim Curtis. Jim Curtis is the county coroner. So those are all proposed members. So we look forward to having them join our club. With new members coming, we'll see some faces also move on. I say just kind of life happens, and we see faces go. So Rachel Cook has put in her she's resignation. Josh Callanan, who was with Camp Primetime, and then CJ St. Hilaire had a kind of a change of job, some personal stuff going on, so he had to step back as well. So. Okay, any other club announcements that anybody has for the good of the order? No? Okay. If I could have Joe Falk come up and do his Sergeant at Arms.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Derek. So the first thing we have up is the drawing. So Mark, you've got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we did.
So is it Raul or your daughter? Oh, okay. All right. So for $20.
Well, at the moment, she's bottom of the barrel with a 26.347. We're waiting for our actual
Looking for the Queen of Hearts.
rankings to come up. It should be on the left-hand side of your screen.
Nope. All right. But thanks for doing that. All right. We're to Happy Bucks. So who has a Happy Buck that they would like to share with us this afternoon? Oh, come on. Oh, yep. Yeah, go ahead, Dirk.
Happy Buck and Bowen's in the house.
And Bowen is, and Ann's got a happy buck too for being in the house. And
I've got 5 happy bucks from those 5 grand. I'm only 5 days away from seeing my 5 grand.
oh, cool. Oh, oh, cool. All right. Yep, sure, please do.
Canada, so I'll be doing my rooting for her. Good Canadian kid out on course.
Your dad gave this to me when I was president. He dug it out of the, he dug it out of a storage unit that he found, had it, framed and put in glass for me. And then from my move from home, from the office to home, I broke the glass. So it's been sitting in my basement. But now I am super excited, since your dad gave it to me, that I'm super excited to be able to give it to you.
How about that? Well, Ann, thank you very much. What a special acknowledgement that for what is this, the charter certificate for our club from 1969? And well, that's a very special memento. And what a perfect time! What a perfect time to give it to Mr. Dirk. So, yep, I saw somebody had their hand up when I interrupted. Yeah, roll. Whoa! You want to get that? Hey, thank you, Raul. Hey, oh, and by the way, welcome to Southwest Rotary, the most. See? Yeah, just let me get Hank here, and then I'll get you. Oh, well, that's right. You were there, weren't you? Along with what, like 18 or 19 or 20 other people? 27 charter members. Okay, and you are the last remaining charter member who's an active member of our club. So, okay, what a wonderful tribute. Okay, hold on just a sec, Bill. Go ahead.
I have a happy buck. I don't know how long this will be happy, but my 1-year-old daughter started walking a couple of
Woohoo! Woohoo! Okay. Hey, would you take that? Thanks. Okay, Bill.
I'm just going to give $5 in
This is the section of the course
Honor.
switching this back straight away.
Okay, that's very. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for doing that. So, yep.
Course is you using your entire body to pump through this track.
Has it been gone to press yet? Oh, it has gone to press. Okay. Come on, can you show us a copy of it, or? Here it comes. Oh, it's hardbound. I can see that. And the picture on the front is, well, let me take a look. Oh, well, guess what? So here is Hank's book, and Hank, I know this wasn't part of the program this afternoon, but you authored this, and you had some help too. Right.
Then everyone who's somewhere around 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th.
Well, that's really. We knew she was working with you on it. So what a terrific tribute! If someone would like a copy of the book, how can they get it? Wait a minute.
Again, another rider from Switzerland, currently on track. What is it for her? 7th, so there you go. It's just happened, Molly Simpson. Oh, yes. Down to 9th place.
So if someone wanted a copy of us, could they get one, or is it sold out? Oh, Tony?
Getting on the back straight here, just going to come around the corner in front of us here. And you know what?
All right, cool. All right. Well, we have an author amongst us, so hold on. So let me give this back to you. Okay, other happy bucks. Yeah, Corday.
$5 in honor of Hank.
Oh, hey, that's very cool, Corday. Thank you. Oh, we got more?
I have 2 happy bucks because I will be doing the twin club with Amy. I'm going to have, not mine.
Oh! Yeah, you anticipated what I was going to say.
I saw your jaw drop.
Yeah.
I am going to be an aunt to twins.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's cool. Very cool. But it's not you. Well. All right, more happy bucks. So, Kathleen. Oh, sorry.
So I have happy bucks because my husband and I and our oldest kids leave for Cuba.
For those who are wondering why these riders.
Yesterday, actually, and
Oh, heavy hit right there. And there we were talking about that line at the top.
Thank you, Kathleen. So, other happy bucks. Am I missing it? Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Lynn.
so I want to give 5 happy bucks for the club. I spent President's Weekend.
Medical
going
staff
to
are with her now and just checking on her to make sure she's
President.
okay. But she did.
President elect
Pets.
Yes, so you guys are in a lot of trouble, but I'm ready. So anyways, I just want to thank you for
I'm resigning.
for getting that opportunity and to know that you are part of a
Exactly
very
what we were
special
talking
club.
about earlier
You're
on when I
asked
mentioned Eddie
often
coming around this
about
corner
how
here next to us
so it's
on
such
our
a strong
left.
membership and the
The
work
very
that we're
thing
doing in our
happened. You
club.
know, when you're pushing the edge on this
training
sport,
was the
you know, it
largest
is
one in the world.
a sport for everyone.
last
Anybody
one.
can come in here, but when
So
you're
there were,
really pushing the limits
people
and
from
taking it to
Alaska,
the
Idaho,
next level to
Washington,
try and increase your speed and increase your position.
Cool. Well, thanks for that report, Lynn. Okay, shameless plugs. I guess we're two now. There's got to be somebody. Yep, Stephanie.
Tonight, Top's got taken over Zesta, so come have appetizers, drinks, or dinner, but support the great work of the foundation.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, Richard.
I got $10 for a shameless plug. If you're not
So this was just
exhausted
after the
after the
start
auction
in turn
event
one.
on April
Pretty rough
29th,
situation where
United Way
you know,
is
right at the very
launching a
beginning
signature
here,
event
but
that we're going to have
it looks
called
like the
Bingo
medical
Brunch and
staff
Bubble Tea.
have
So Nordstrom's is our official presenting sponsor for this
opted to
event.
just go
15
on the
to
side
20
of
rounds of
caution
bingo.
and make
Every
sure that
round
she's
will
going
feature a designer
to
handbag from
be
Nordstrom,
properly taken
and
care
someone
of.
will get to win. So they combine food, booze, fashion, you're guaranteed a good time. If you want information, see me. Tickets are $50 and tables are $3.50 for this event.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Any other shameless plugs? Oh, Ann.
I'll do a quick shameless plug because when the glass got broken from my house to home or home to work or whatever it was.
All right, last bit of
Mike
precautionary
McKinney,
action
McKinney
by our
Glass
medical staff
actually,
here. Course still on hold.
did the,
We will
frame
get back
replace
underway
the
as soon
glass
as
and
everything is
so,
taken care of.
And he wouldn't take any money for it. So I mean,
Just
that was
stay with
really
us and be
cool.
patient.
Very.
This is part of the sport.
Good, thank you, Ann.
And,
Any other? Brian, do you have a shameless plug?
My shameless plug is for the legal services of Mr. Joe Paul.
Oh no.
I'll tell you, and I wasn't going to do this because I know you're a humble man. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, I lose track. I was at a thing where people were asking realtors who are gaining in age for advice. And so I was telling younger, much younger realtors, the few pearls of wisdom I have learned. And one of the things that this group asked is, like, who are your mentors? And of course, I worked for my father, so of course he's right there. They're asking, like, who are you mentors? Who are the people that make an
all right,
impact?
back to racing here and on course. Now we have Renata Diaz from Chile, so of course the crowd is going to be on her side.
I don't want to say how many different conversations about real estate transactions. But you've been
As soon as we have the
absolutely flawless in the real estate legal community in Yakima.
crowd on the sidelines on both sides of the course here, big cheers for Renata.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for your kind words. So I'm going to reciprocate and tell you that when Jill and I bought our current home, we went through Ryan, and did he do a wonderful job of representing us in the purchase of our home. And he made Jill eternally grateful for his hard work in allowing us or enabling us to buy the home, because it was not an easy path, as Ryan could tell you. It was a zigzag path, but he helped us navigate the zigzags, and we got to where we needed to be in the end. So do I owe a happy buck too? I owe 5. Okay, I was waiting for that. All right. So next up, oh wait a minute. Yeah, Kathleen, go ahead.
6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. make it into the top 8.
All right. Well, thank you for it. Yeah, Elliot.
I missed the Happy Buck train. So Happy Buck, I got a little bit of an announcement to make. I'm going to be a dad this summer.
Wow.
No wonder it gets $1. Yeah.
Yes, that's right, Bill.
No, just a baby girl.
So Elliot, because you missed the Happy Buck train, it will be $5. So okay. All right, I think we've done all the So, as some of you, especially older members, will remember, I have a thing where I'd like to acknowledge our current president and define him, if for no other reason than to display our collective affection for him. And I spared him the last time I was up here doing this, but I can't spare him this time, particularly in light of what Ann did. You notice he hid the certificate away over here out of sight. But what a wonderful recognition. And on top of that, Dirk has been doing a wonderful job of leading our club this Rotary year and sustaining the fun and the culture of our club throughout this year. And I think you would all agree, and Dirk, you need to pay $5 because we so honor and we so respect you for what you've done this year. So he's already, yeah. So, but we'll spare you from any additional fines. So, So for those of you that were here last week, and I think many of you were, and first of all, last week's meeting was one of the finest meetings I've ever been to involving this club. I mean, we've had a lot of really good meetings, but last Tuesday's meeting was a superb meeting on all levels. It was superb because of how Dirk led it. It was superb because of the program we had. It was superb because of the Sergeant Arms report, where people where people got to talk about how they met their spouses and significant others, and it was also superb because, and I'm sorry she's not here because I would love to be able to recognize her, but Emily Jameson was here, and she got up where I'm standing right now and very tearfully thanked all our members and our club for everything that we had done for her in response to this very devastating loss that she and her family have experienced. I don't know about. I've never had a home fire damaged, even much less completely wiped out by fire. And she and her family have sustained that loss, and are working their way through it. And this club, our members have responded with random acts of kindness to be able to help her out in all the various ways that you can, including some financial help for her too. And it was really touching to hear her and see her when she stood before us last Tuesday to thank us for all that we have done. So that caused me to think about, with Jill's help, by the way, random acts of kindness. As far as, it's something that happens, and it happens quite often spontaneously. From the recipient standpoint, it happens without any expectation that it's going to occur, and yet once it occurs, it has a huge impact in many cases. And so that's what I want to talk, and I love when I'm doing Sergeant Arms to give people the opportunity to tell stories, because you all have some of the greatest stories about yourselves or those that are significant to you in your lives that none of us know about. And so what I want to do is to allow you, those of you that care to anyway, and we don't have a lot of time, by the way, because we have like 5 minutes before I have to turn the microphone over for our program. Oh, no. You know what? You never want to get between Ryan and a microphone, because somebody once said that about Rudy Giuliani. So anyway, so now that you've had a few seconds to be thinking about it, so what I'm interested in giving you the opportunity to share with us is any acts of kindness, random or otherwise, that any of you have either participated in or experienced or have seen others benefit from, that had meaning for you in your life, that it's a memory that you will take with you probably for the rest of your lives, because it happened to you, or it happened to a family member, or it was because you were the one who created that opportunity and originated the random act of kindness. So with all of that said, and with all the wheels that are turning out there that I can see turning, is there anyone who wants to start this off and share with us a random act of kindness that has been a part of your life, whether recent or distant, that was meaningful for you that you would like to share with us? So who wants to raise their hand first? Bill. Hey.
So our Chilean rider, Renata Urita Diaz, trying to get up there into those top 8 spots, pushing hard. She really needs that support from the fans that are here. They're screaming as they go behind. Yes.
You know that doesn't happen.
Come on,
No.
Those last straights are tough if you do them for the 3rd time already. Split time of 13, that's not going to do it for her. 27.981, she's down there. Molly Simpson on course right now to try and improve. The young Canadian doing her best.
It is a random act of kindness because they didn't expect it. So, and even though I've been a member of the military and have had people thank me for my service, I never expect it when it happens. I just sort of take it for granted and don't think about it. So thank you, Bill, for doing that. So while others of you are thinking, I thought of one that involved Jill and me. Now this is probably on a low order in terms of random acts of kindness, but we were in the drive-through lane at McDonald's a couple of years ago probably, and we had placed our order and we were behind the car in front of us, so we pulled up to pay, and the woman at the window said, that driver in the car ahead of you just paid for your lunch. And I thought, really, are you kidding me? I mean, why would someone do that? But it was a random act of kindness, and I will never forget that, even though yeah, thank you, Mark. So, okay, anybody else want to join Bill and me? And yeah, Dirk?
I'll share one. Just this winter, when we were delivering blankets to Rod's house, I had to go to a different location for the drop-off site. I was just driving down the street, and sure enough, there was about 15 to 18 homeless people sheltered there on the side of the road, and I thought, I got a car full of blankets. I got to pull over, and I just started doling out the blankets. So it's just
a quick look back
completely
at some of the
random,
action
but we
from
had
our
them, but it was just a great way to get
round
them
of
out.
16,
Like,
and we have narrowed it down to 8 athletes that will be moving on.
Great, that's a great story. Great story. Thank you for sharing that, Bob.
One of the favorites, not in the mix anymore, with Peyton Ridenauer ending up at 10th place here today, and Molly Simpson doing her level best to try a 2nd or a 3rd lap to get the time up there. And you can see she's sitting in 9th place, and that is your list. The top 8 riders moving on to the next round.
Thank you. Yes. Well, and Bob, so well deserved. So well deserved. All right. All right. Yes, Kathleen.
As one of my favorite hockey commentators says, 11 million. It's just insane.
She probably has to have a bigger house just for all her
Just for the
trophies.
medals, exactly. So she is an intelligent athlete. She's an intelligent competitor as well. So I think she's probably been looking at this situation and going, okay.
She's been on every podium since she started racing pump tracks. How disappointed are you in that finish today?
I mean, like, yeah, of course, I was hoping to do a little better, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I gave it my all, so can't really.
What a great story. Thank you for sharing that. I think, yep, we have time for one more. So, Craig?
She gave it 100% out there. She left it all out on the track. We're all super bummed that she didn't make it on, but we know that she's one of the fastest riders out here. Is there anything else that you would like to say?
Shout out to my mom and dad at home, my dog Rocket, my puppy Turbo.
Thank you very much, Peyton. We'll see you next year.
Well, you know, the dogs, Rocket and Turbo, and her parents will be happy to see her come home safe and sound. And yeah, that's disappointment. But look at how heavy she was breathing. And you would think going around this course and just pumping a little bit would be a ton of fun. But it is effort pure.
It is absolute effort pure. They're not here to play around. You know, you can take it easy on a pump track if you want to and just play around and do some jumps. But when it counts, when it's about time, this is as exhausting as any sport can be.
Yeah, I mean, I've ridden a couple of pump tracks, and by no means am I an elite athlete in this sense of the word, but, you know, you can have fun out there, and just pumping around the track one time, it is a full-body workout. So, folks, forget about the Stairmaster, forget about...
Okay, but thank you, Craig. Now, I think that we've run out of time because we need time for our program, but I want to thank you, those of you who shared your stories. I want to thank you for all of you. So if the rest of you would all pay $2 a piece, except for the people who shared their stories with us this afternoon. This has been great fun, and it reminds me of what a great club we have and why it's so great. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Joe. All right. Thanks, Joe, for that, Sergeant of Arms. Next up, I'd like to introduce Will Hollingberry and Pat Huey, our speakers, with the Single Track Alliance Yakima. Their introductee had to call in sick. So I'm going to have them give a little information about themselves and the Single Track Alliance. So I'm going to hand it over to Will and Pat, and then I'll bring your guys' slides up.
I'm going to hand this over to Pat.
We don't usually do this part. First, thank you for giving us the opportunity to come and present to you guys. We need as many people to hear what we have to say as possible, but also we're just winging it. Right? We're not professional. This is a passion project of ours. So the more times we do this, the more people that can give us feedback, the better. My name is Pat Huey. I've been in Yakima most of my life. I went to school in Natchez. I live in West Valley now. I work for Yakima Co-op, but outside of my work life, I am a mountain biker. Quick story. This building right here, or this room we're in, was renovated originally as a bike shop. I worked in this bike shop for 5 years before it closed down. So pretty fitting to be back here presenting to you guys about something that we want to bring to the community that is cycling. Well, it's not cycling centric, but that's our passion and why we want it here. But you'll see that it's something that's good for the community for all ages and all abilities, from toddlers all the way to anybody in this room. So.
My name is Will Hollingberry. I was born here in Yakima and lived here most of my life, except for when I was at WSU. I got a degree in soil science, which I chose because of my family's background in agriculture, but also because I loved building mountain bike trails. And I would spend all my time digging bike trails in my backyard. And my parents called me the human gopher. It was so bad, or good in my sense. But in 2011, Pat and I joined up with some of our friends and formed a nonprofit organization called Single Track Alliance Yakima. And our goal was to advocate for mountain bike trails and hiking trails in the Yakima Valley. And we've done that by, we got the opportunity to build a trail system called Rocky Top up on Cowiche Mountain. That was in 2011 we started that. We started another trail system off Conwalk Pass in between Wapato and Moxie. So we have 2 trail projects that we're managing. One of our main goals from the beginning was to have a pump track here in Yakima, which we've been working steadily towards ever since. And this is where we are at this point today. So what is a pump track? It's an off-road asphalt track. It's a bike track, but it's got rollers and berms, kind of like a BMX track. You use your body to pump and push your way through this, so you don't necessarily need a chain like you would like on a regular bike track. Skateboards, rollerblades, any wheeled thing can get through this, with effort, but minimal effort. It's really it's flowy, it's fun. A lot of people describe them as skate parks, but where a skate park is really challenging, it takes a high You have to have a lot of skills to do a skate park without getting hurt. This is the opposite. You don't really need any skills. You just need to get in there and have fun. So it's an inclusive, it's free, it's for all ages. We can play this video. It'll kind of just show how they're made and how they're used.
So, a pump track's kind of hard to explain with words, but it's really straightforward when you start looking at what people do with it. This is doing some of the construction.
This pump track's in Norway. The company that we've hired to design and build our pump tracks is called Velo Solutions. They're from Switzerland. They're the global standard for a track like this. These are built all over the world. I mean, in Switzerland, they'll have 5 or 6 in one community. So we have these all over the Pacific Northwest. There's one in Redmond. There's one in Leavenworth, Bellingham, Portland. They all have this brand of pump track. I mean, these are they're playgrounds. They can be race tracks. They can have timing in them. This company hosts a world championship, so they have races all over the world. And then as you win more and more races, they end up having like qualifiers and finals. And so it's a whole global program.
And now they're risking having to go again, wasting their energy. This is what makes this particular discipline.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad you brought that up. So this is actually our design. This is at Randall Park South. And you can see it's got two separate tracks. The smaller of the two is larger, deeper, it's more aggressive. And then there's the grass between it. And then the larger one is more tame. It's also wheelchair accessible.
Not the whole
thing. It's ADA compliant. Not the whole thing, but I guess that's not.
Yeah.
It's not wholly true. So if I think we've all seen people that are really awesome at their wheelchairs, they could go through that whole thing. But starting at your guys' right, moving over, you can enter it with a wheelchair.
Right here, this portion.
Yep, and you can either go around the loop or you can do a small loop at that end. So we want this to be super inclusive to everyone. I think one of the videos you might see a little bit later shows kids on Strider bikes. Tricycles are not really a thing anymore. You see these little guys on Strider bikes, and you can ride that through this whole place. So it's not just for accomplished athletes, it's for everybody. And that's one thing we want to make sure we hammer home is it's ADA compliant and it's for all ages. There is a reason that we always bring up. The reason the tracks are split in half, there's actually a 16-inch water main, 8 feet deep in that gap. So we didn't want to put anything around there just in case. So, which gave us a good opportunity because that can be a social space with picnic tables and other, just hanging out, or a shade structure is what we'd really like to have. So you can bring your kids, drop them off, let them hang out, and you're not just sitting in your car being bored.
So this site is at Randall Park South, which is on the south side of White Hollow Creek in front of the dog park. So between 48th and then there's the field and then the dog park. We've been looking for a site to put one of these pump tracks for a decade. And we spent a lot of time along the Greenway looking for a place to put one of these. This track itself is like 40,000 square feet. And so it's just trying to find a piece of land that we had access to where we could put a park like this, which has about a 25-year lifespan with little to no maintenance. We kept going to Ken Wilkinson at the city Parks and Rec with all our ideas for the places. And finally, when we identified this site, he jumped on it. He agreed that this was a very good site for this. We went in front of the Parks and Rec Commission within 3 weeks, and they approved it. So then we went in front of City Council, then they approved it at that point. So then we raised $10,000 to pay for the design. It took 10 days to raise $10,000. I think we got a Rotary grant for 2. Sunrise Rotary gave us $2,000, and then we raised the rest of it out of the community. I mean, a handful of people gave $1,000, but a lot of people gave $25, $30, $50. I mean, there's maybe 35 donors. Once the Vela Solutions had their $10,000, we had this design. 8 months later, they sent a person up. We hosted a bunny hop competition, which is just, where you pick up your bike without having to jump and then go over stuff. I think someone bunny hopped like 40 inches, and I gave them $100. But we had a big meeting there. The designer from Vela Solutions was there, and we fine-tuned our priorities. And so, like what Pat was mentioning, the smaller track is actually faster and deeper, where kids can catch some big air. And then the bigger track is actually mellower, so kids can be in there, and you can separate the fast people from the slow people without having them run into each other. So this is the project. So the design's finished. There's the 2 tracks, and this is the Vela Solutions site plan that they provided for us that we used when we got our SEPA and critical shoreline applications. And so,
is everybody familiar with this location? Okay, all right. So it'll be adopted into the park. So we are just the people pushing this project. This is a city park. When it's done, it's adopted into the city park, and it'll be open to the public.
Yeah, we have a memorandum.
Yeah, we have an MOU with the city. Things like this don't happen without somebody pushing it, so that's us. That's where we come in. It was a couple slides back. I don't know if we mentioned we have a 501c3, but we also there's also a fund for this with the Yakima Community Fund, so that if people feel better giving to that fund, they can do that. But anything they give us is also tax deductible. We've had our 501c3 for over a decade. There's some details. Yeah. Is that the end of it?
No. Here, so we have needs for the project. We're looking for money. If we fund this thing, it's $1.2 million, and that's with no in-kind donations. But this design has 336 tons of asphalt and 3,500 cubic yards of aggregate subbase, which is gravel. And so, the 1.2 million is as if none of that got donated. And so, but we're seeking those in-kind donations. We also need housing for the builders. They'll be here for approximately 2 months constructing the track. So we have housing for them, and like hauling of everything. We're talking to a couple people for that. But so, yeah, and then Leavenworth, Bellingham, Portland. We can travel and see all these things. Leavenworth, they were the first Vela Solutions pump track about 10 years ago. Theirs is only 9,000 square feet, where ours is 40. Vela Solutions says they build them at 16,000 square foot is the minimum size. If I'm not an accomplished athlete, but I do like to ride bikes, and the Leavenworth one is too deep and steep for how small it is. You have to work really hard to get up and down all the hills because they tried to pack it all in there. So I could see how 16,000 square feet is a good minimum, but we really want to be the best pump track Vela Solutions built in the Pacific Northwest. And right now that's in Anacortes, and they built one just a little smaller than ours, and they finished theirs a year ago. So after it's built, it's going to be relatively no maintenance. I mean, you've seen in these videos, in between the asphalt, there's fill. And like I can see one there, it looks like it's dirt and grass. Some of them have AstroTurf. And we've chosen something called P3, which is like kind of like asphalt, but it's more rubberized and it drains. So it's like, feels like asphalt, but it's a little spongy. That's what's going to be filled in with all this. We're looking for the minimum amount of maintenance possible. because we want to make it easy on the city, and we want it to look really nice all the time. Yeah, sure.
Anybody have any questions of us?
What? The company that we paid for the design builds these all over the world. And so the first video we showed was one that they built in Norway. And so this video right here is the one in Redmond, Oregon. And it's 1.5 minutes long.
You asked about frost, correct?
I'm more worried about so a couple big sales of AstroTurf and tracks and
Yeah, but they're building these all over the world, you know.
That hasn't come up in any of the local ones. So the one in Bend is similar and they haven't. This one is now.
Yeah, I think so.
This
place looks freaking sick. AstroTurf is dope on the side.
It looks just like the day they built it. The only problem they've had is the AstroTurf. So we're going to do that.
And so we've completed our SEPA and our critical shoreline applications. And so at this point in the project, we're literally just raising the money and getting ready to schedule the construction. Did you have a question? Yeah, I mean, these things can host races and stuff. And we would love to see that happening here, you know, and having like classes where people can come, like kids can come and may learn how to use these more efficiently or learn bike skills or skateboard skills. There's people with rollerblade skills too.
It's kind of, we anticipate it being like the skate park visit festival. It's just open to the public, so open park. But they've had events that you could do the same thing.
We want to see barbecue pits and picnic tables. You know, I'd like to go spend a few hours there and then grill a hamburger and then hang out with my kids and then spend another hour there, you know, and just looking for a way to spend the day. We've had people from Seattle contact us and say, man, I wish you would build this thing because we're supposed to come over to Sozo for soccer tournaments, but there's so many hours between tournaments. What are we going to do? We don't come. And they're like, but if that was there, it's right next to Sozo. We'll be there tomorrow, you know. So and that's the thing is I've traveled for the Leavenworth Pump Track. A lot of people travel regionally just to ride these things. So it's not just a draw for our community, but it brings in outside the community to Yakima. Another thing is that there's not a lot of good resources for middle school and high school kids that are free and healthy. And because Pat and I both grew up here, we know what it's like. This is something that appeals to all ages, but especially middle school and high school kids. I mean, we think it's cool, but I mean, a lot of people think it's cool. Like I was trying to tell someone once that I imagine all the kids that are riding in their car down 48, they're going to have their foreheads like glued to the glass, like hoping to catch someone riding in one of these things, you know. At least that's how I would have been. Yeah. I really.
More than one. It could be a dozen people.
Yeah, we have 2 tracks, 40,000 square feet. I mean, you could get quite a few people in here.
Right.
It's about 4 feet deep in general.
Yeah. It'll. You can see in these videos.
They just follow each other.
Right. You just kind of come and go in and out of it. You don't have to ride the whole thing. You can go down one thing, get off, and watch. And you'll see in these videos. There's just people standing around.
And it's not so deep you can't see people that you're going to run into.
You saw that little girl.
You can actually see them when you run into them.
Yeah. You want that, right?
It will not have lights because it's a city park, and the parks are closed after dark.
But when they pave it, I've been talking to them. I'd like to, put in the groundwork to have lights eventually. It won't be a paved parking lot at first, and that's going to come in a separate project. So we're hoping to get some power in the ground. No, it's an always track. It's got the berms and stuff. You can make turns and split off and do little loops or big loops. It's they turn. You can ride through them both ways.
It's easy from above. It doesn't matter which direction you go. 2 months. The build time from ground break to completion is 2 months.
It's all going to go in above grade. They're not going to dig down much at all. It's all sitting on top and be built out of gravel.
What's your projected timeline for the fundraising?
We're hoping to have it fundraise this year, 2023, so we can break ground.
Yeah, but if like February of next year is our deadline for getting it scheduled for 2023 construction. No, 2024 construction at the end by February of 2023.
No.
Right? If we fund it in the next 12 months, we can build it in 24.
Correct.
Right.
I have Benjamin here, the hometown
Another
hero. How does it feel to be
benefit, community benefit versus like a skate park, which is most people are familiar. They've been being built in communities for 40 years. Skate parks are kind of dangerous. You have to be at a higher level to use them properly, and if you're a novice, it's really easy to crash and hurt yourself. These are a lot more user-friendly for novice users, which make them, I think, better assets to the community because more people can use them.
It's really nice to have this big event.
There used to be a BMX track at the Union Gap Park, a tandem youth park. As far as I know, it's leveled. I think it got plowed. It's not there. There is a pump track, a dirt pump track that our group has built up at Rocky Top next to the DTG recycling entrance. It's adjacent to the parking lot to the Rocky Top trail facility. It gets a ton of use, and we're biased. It's pretty great, but it could be a lot better, right? And it's just dirt, and it gets beat up from the weather and the snow and mud and all that. But kids love it. If you're up there in the summertime going for a hike, you'll see a truckload. Like one parent will come with 6 kids and all their bikes, and they'll pile out and have a good time, and it's fun. So we're hoping when this is built, that can happen most of the year, really. This will be less weather dependent. It's also asphalt, so it's going to melt pretty quick in the wintertime. So it should be available more months than not.
And as you know, the times are so tight, and as you can see there,
9,000.
9,000 square feet.
Yeah.
From seating, from seating, meaning she now has to go a little faster to make it into the next round.
Yeah.
She will have to be in the top 4. Again, we're splitting the field in half after
The Leavenworth one is an early pump track as well. So this company now has thousands of pump tracks under their belt. Anything they build now is considerably better than what that one was built. It's still fun, and you saw all the people at it. Especially for kids, because they fit better. Like for Will and I, the dimensions of the track are a little tight, but this track's going to be so much better.
As you can see, we have
Yeah, it's asphalt, so there won't be any goat heads on it.
Right.
We grew up dirt jumping and riding dirt, in town, and it's just you can't be a kid on a bike without flat tires. But the pump track up at Rocky Top does get a ton of use for being in the parking lot of a dump on the side of a mountain out in unincorporated Yakima County. But we think this will be just you know, this is for everybody. You know, the kids there's a lot of kids that can't get up to Rocky Top and try it out. And so this one is right here in a park, and it's asphalt, so you don't even need a bike. You can bring your skateboard, you know, or your rollerblades or your scooter. A lot of kids ride scooters these days. And so we just really see this as being the first pump track in Yakima. I mean, I'm a firm believer that our valley can host several of these out in Toppenish, Wapato, you know, Zilla, anywhere down along the river, you know, on the east side of downtown Yakima. I would really love to see this kind of thing, but I'm just really looking forward to seeing this one full of kids, and I think that'll show the community what we can have throughout the whole valley.
One last thing I'd like to say is, being that this will be built at a city park, it's safe from, can't be taken away. That's really come to light. We'll use Rocky Top as an instance. It's on private property, and so far the pump track is available, but some of the trails have been closed to the public because they're on private property, and that's their right to do so. This will be protected. Once it's built, it's there for the duration of the life of this pump track, which I think 25 is a minimum, as long as it doesn't get vandalized or something like that. This will be something that is a community asset that can't be taken away, that can provide use to the community for decades, and not something temporary.
Can she do it again 4 years later? Let's see. That is absolutely massive from Krista.
Yeah, our MOU just has us running the fundraising and getting it designed and getting it up to construction, and then once it's completed, the city's going to take over. They're going to fold it into Randall Park, and it's just going to be a part of their park maintenance schedule cycle. So our nonprofit's really small. I mean, we don't generally need a lot of money to build trails in the desert, so we've put in all of our mountain bike trails at a pretty low cost financially. But this is like a really high cost, and luckily the Yakima Valley Community Foundation has a Randall Park fund that they've tailored just for this. I mean, there's money. There was already a little bit of money in it, but we're hoping that fund carries the majority of the money for this project, so that we don't have to change our. I mean, we'll take your money to ours, but we're just a couple guys. But the Yakima Valley Community Foundation is very well known in our community. We'd really looking forward to seeing the funds go through that, so you don't have to worry about trusting us with your money. Yep. I put $40 in just to see if it would work.
We have a few $1,000.
Yeah.
So this is, so has anybody heard about this project till tonight? No. Okay. Probably a few yeses and mostly no's. That's not an accident. We haven't been very public with it until we cleared all obstacles. So we found the location, we talked to the city, we jumped through every hoop we can find. We did a SEPA, we did critical shoreline, we've done all these things. So now is the time that we're coming out and letting everybody know what's been going on. We've been quiet on purpose so that somebody can go, I love it. Let me give you a bunch of money, and we say, location's no good. We got to find somewhere else. It's all locked down. It's ready to go. It's ready to be funded now. So that's why we're trying to get the word out, and why you may not have heard about it, but we've been working on it for close to a decade. So there is no obstacles other than finance. You saw the number's big. Well, to me, it's big. $1.2 million. That's if we just had the money in a briefcase and said, here you go, build this pump track. But that number can be whittled down a lot if we go to asphalt companies, gravel companies. It's in there. The gravel is 300 dump truck loads. That's a lot of diesel, so it's really expensive. So those are the things we've had great conversations with local businesses that we believe once the time is appropriate, they will donate. But these companies, say an asphalt company, can't promise asphalt to us until we have a timeline, right? They're not going to empty promise and sign a document that says, yeah, we'll give you $200,000 worth of asphalt with nothing else. So that's where we are.
Because there was a DA for airline, so that makes sense. Thanks for coming, Troy.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
I want to thank you guys for coming here today and sharing about the pump track. I think I'm follow them on Facebook, so we'll try and do some sharing through our social media too about the organization and the pump track that you have going. I've got some water bottles as our our token of appreciation for coming and speaking to our club today. I applaud you guys for you go up, if you've ever been up to Rocky Top and seen the trails that their organization has built, these are like the little jewels of our town that a lot of people aren't aware of. So I want to thank you guys. Personally, I've enjoyed those, and I just think it's fabulous that you've stepped up, and now you're stepping up again to drive something for the greater good of the community. So we applaud you. Thank you. And then I want to thank Corday and Tony for greetings and introductions, Ryan for your invocation, and Joe for your Sergeant of Arms. And with that, our meeting is adjourned.